Really big transmitting tube, capable of 14,000 watts of output power. Is this thing any good? Well, today we're going to find out. Let's get started. To give you a better idea of how big that tube really is, here's a rectifier tube that was used in a previous video. So you can see the size of the tube to my hand right here. All right, I have pretty big hands. So I'll take this and I'll put it right beside this tube. And that's right center of the chimney, so I'm not putting it behind it to make it look larger. It's right beside it. And right beside the glass bulb on the top here. This tube is capable of 14,000 watts of output power. 14,000 watts of output power. With about 565, so we'd say safely 600 watts of drive power. 12 kV on the plate, which is the anode of the tube. Now, in order to see if the tube is still good, it needs to be lit up. And that's where it gets tricky. In order just to light this thing up, because tubes are like light bulbs, right? They have a filament inside, filament structure. In order to light this thing up, just to light it up, it takes 60 amps at 22 volts on these pins at the top here. And that's 60 amps continuous all the time, just to light it up. That's no anode voltage, no nothing, just to make it glow. So it'll come into emission. That's where things get a little bit tricky, so I'm going to have to wind a transformer or something. I'll take you through that entire process today, and we'll see if the tube is actually still good or if there's air in this. And if it is, we'll see this little bulb fill with smoke, and that'll be the end. So I have no idea what condition this thing is in. So this has probably been through many hands over the years, who knows. And people try to light these things up just for the looks, right? Try to light these things up without any air cooling, and that just basically destroys the bulb. So what ends up happening is if you heat this or light this thing up without any air cooling, without any air blowing through the chimney here, the seals, the glass to metal seals, start to leak. So we have a seal here, and a couple, well, 3 seals actually in here. I'll show you the filament connections here in just a moment. So this thing is a big ceramic, looks like a flower pot, and many people called it that, I see. So it's a big ceramic, basically a chimney here, and what happens is this thing sits on a blower box, basically a blower box, and then the anode is here. So there's a lot of spacing here. Now the anode of the tube itself runs down to about here, so when it's in service there isn't a whole lot of spacing to stop any arc over or anything like that, but there's enough. So I'll take this out, put that down here. So now what ends up happening is, you can see it's just a big hollow thing. There's no metal ring inside here, right? On the outside there is, but on the inside it's not, to get a little bit of extra spacing so you don't get arc over from the anode. So air blows up through this and blows through these fins and cools this whole thing off. So the actual anode itself sits in the center of this thing, and it runs right down into this, about down into here. So the 892, this tube is an 892R. The 892 itself is a water-cooled tube, so the actual tube itself would sit into a water-cooled jacket and water would flow around it. The R version, which is this one here, is air-cooled, so it's forced air, so air blows up through this. Now, since we're not putting any type of anode on this today, we need to have some form of air. It doesn't need to be as much air cooling as it would in normal service, just enough to, keep the heat from the filaments from affecting any of the seals here. So I'll have to rig that up as well, and I'll take you through that process as well. If the tube is still good and it's, it glows and we have no issues, we're going to do some experiments with this thing here in the very near future, and I'll take you along through those experiments as well. It should be a lot of fun, and I think you'll find it pretty interesting what I've got planned. So anyways, in order for me to get started on this, I got to get this out to the shop where I've got 240, and I have to get a transformer of some sort going, or figure out how I'm going to get filament current into this thing, and we'll see if the thing glows, and if it does, we're on the way. Here's the first part of the equation. I managed to find a 24 volt, 61 amp continuous battery charger. So this should have the transformer in it that will work. So it looks like it's really overrated. The amp meter goes up to 100 amps. And yeah, big switch on the front.
Here's the cables that run off to the battery. So here's the 240 volt plug. And this runs off to either a forklift battery or a big pallet jack battery or something like that. So nice long cables that'll get over to the tube. So I'll probably just cut this off. And if we open this thing up, half turn. Look at that transformer. There's the magic right there. So this looks really overrated for even 61. This rated at 61 amps. It's really overrated. Look at the size of this wire. Just huge stuff. The windings that are coming out of this transformer are just, yeah, they're huge. So this should be just fine. So I'll use from the center tap to one end, because this isn't a full wave configuration. From end to end, this would be about 60 volts, something like that. And then, you know, this would be about 30 half. And then, of course, we have a saturable reactor here. I'll talk more about saturable reactors in the future. They're a neat device, you know, used for regulation in something like this, you know, crude form of regulation, but works just fine. We have the rectifiers here for the battery charger, which I'll just take this out of circuit. So one of the leads for the battery charger runs right off the center tap here. And then, of course, the other one runs up to the rectifiers here. So I'll just take this off and connect it to one end of the transformer. I want full control of this. I don't want any of this saturable reactor or the little control circuit in here. Nothing. I don't want any of that. I just want this applied directly to a variac, and then I am in full control. I can bring that up safely without having this thing try to do anything. You know, I don't want to take any chances with that tube. If it's good, I want it to stay good. And if it's going to fail, well, it'll fail dramatically, and we'll see that together today. So I'll get rewiring this thing and get it attached to the tube, and I get a blower underneath it of some sort, and find a 240 volt variac around here somewhere, and get everything all hooked up, and let's see if we can light this thing up. I'm pretty excited about it. For me, on my end, it's quite a ways away yet. I got lots of stuff to do, but in the next shot here, you'll see it come to life. Okay, the transformer is basically taken out of circuit here. So the outputs that run to the leads that run out of the case here are just from one end of the transformer and center tap here. So that's a nice solid connection. I also bridged out the saturable reactor, so it's just 240 directly into this, so I can just turn this up and down with a variac. So getting there, it's coming along. Everything on the DC side is, I know, disconnected. So basically this transformer is just isolated right now. So it's a big isolation transformer that's acting as a filament supply for that tube. Normally I don't wear eye protection when I'm starting a tube up, but in this case I think I will. So, and I also have gloves on as well, just in case something shatters, because there's a lot of current that's going to be going into this thing. So I've got the leads hooked up to the top here, and there's a current meter back there, which is hard to see. I'd have that a lot closer, but it's, you know, the leads. I have to be very careful with these leads. I don't want to put any pressure on this, so it's a very gradual bend to these, and they're tightened onto the pins quite nicely. So I've got the blower hooked up here. All I have to do is turn that on and turn up the variac right here. And I can monitor the voltage here. You can see that. So that's the filament voltage, and what's up top here would be the filament current. All right, so I'll turn on the blower fan. All the dust blow out of there, you see that? All right, that's gonna be pretty loud, so hopefully you can still hear me. It's not that crazy. You can see lots of air blowing through that. So here we go. I will turn this on. This is the filament supply now, and we'll keep an eye on this, and I'll slowly turn this up. So we're at 1 volt now at 31 amps, and it's going down, and it's climbing. So the filament is warming, which is a good sign. We're at 22 amps right now at about 2 volts. Turn this up some more. We're at 4 volts and 30 amps, and it's coming down again, so that means the filament is warming up. So hopefully it's not drawing excessive current right now, so there's a good chance that this might be okay. If it burns up, we'll witness this together, because I have absolutely no idea, and I really hope it doesn't burn up. So I didn't even test the blower. I just put it on top and turned it on with you here. So this is all maiden voyage. Here we go. 5 volts. Let's bring it up to maybe 10. I'm watching that. It's about 30 amps. We start to see smoke. Oh, I do see light in there. It is lighting up. You can probably see that light. Let's turn this off. Hopefully, I can find the control. See the light in there? It's coming on. We're at 35 amps, and it's pretty steady, and it's slowly going down. That's 9 volts right there. So I'll get you a little closer. So it looks like this tube might actually be good. That's very surprising. See the light in there? It's coming on. So I'll keep going. 9 volts, or actually 10 volts. So now we're at 41 amps at 12 volts. Maybe bump this down a little. You can see that. Slightly warm. All right, so here we go. 15 volts at 46 amps. Let it sit there for just a moment. Bring it up nice and slow. Now we're at 20 volts. We're getting very close to our target here. At 53 amps. So we're 20 volts at 53 amps. I can actually feel the heat on my forehead. That is pretty crazy. I can just feel a radiant heat on my forehead. That's bizarre. So 53 amps, and I'll bring it up a little more. We're now at 21.3 volts at 55 amps. So it's coming in really close. And I'll bring it up just to 22. Is right where it needs to stop. 21.9. I'll stop there. It's at 56 amps it's pulling. So it's a good tube. We're off to the races. 21.9 volts. And I'll move you over so you can see the amp meter. Hopefully. I'll move the focus over to here. You see that? 56 amps, 57 amps. Yeah, it's warm. Wow. So there we go. It's doing well. You can tell the variac's heating up. There's a big variac over here. It's getting warm, that's for sure. That's the variac right there. It's turning us up and down. That's a big variac. 240 coming in and running off to this. So we're doing good. So I can bring it down now, bring it down slow. Here we go. Well, successful. I was so skeptical. I thought this thing might just go up. I thought we might see a plume of smoke inside there, and it was done. So we know the vacuum tube works, so now we can get on to some experimentation with this very, very high power tube.
Are you interested in learning more about electronics, both modern and antique alike? I teach electronics in a way that's very easy to understand, complete with circuits for you to build and at this point, 200 videos for you to learn from. I have a very affordable electronics course on Patreon. You're definitely going to want to check that out. I also share many of my inventions there, which you've probably seen on the internet and on this channel, complete with circuit designs, the layouts, and all the instructions to put these inventions together, and just specific pieces of test equipment to make your repairs and troubleshooting all that much easier. There's lots of great stuff there. Definitely check out my ongoing electronics course on Patreon. I'll put the link just below the video's description under the Show More tab, and I'll pin the link at the top of the comment section. So if you click on one of those links, it'll take you right there. If you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by giving me a big thumbs up and definitely hang around. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell symbol. That way you'll be notified as soon as I post a brand new video. All right, until next time, take care. Bye for now.